All right, for the past year at BloombergQuint, now I've been wanting a couple of things. The first was some leave, which I didn't get. Even if I got that leave, I wanted to head to Bangkok, to Asia's best restaurant. They call it Gaggan's. I haven't managed to get either of them since I joined BloombergQuint. So I thought, what's the next best thing? Well, I thought I'll enjoy my street food and, well, speak to the man himself. Gaggan Anand, thanks for joining us on BloombergQuint.
Hi, how are you doing? Good.
Good, Gaggan. I'm glad we caught you here in Mumbai because clearly I'm not getting leave to come to Bangkok anytime soon.
You should get a leave. This is the right time. I mean, please give him a leave. He deserves a leave because he's taking an interview with Gaggan, no?
So, big disclaimer. A lot of Gaggan's culinary tastes and menu, well, it's been inspired by a lot of street food that he enjoys as well, is what I've heard.
Yes.
So I thought, you know, he's not cooking right now. He'll be cooking a lot later. So we should at least get some street food and continue eating. You're fine if I'll be eating.
Yeah. Actually, I've done them. I've done versions of each of them.
Of each of them?
Yeah, I mean, this was made into something round. That was made into something chocolatey. This was made into an edible plastic bag.
Edible plastic bag.
This I'm not fingered yet with.
It looks like ragra patty.
But today, ragra patty might be fingered in next menu. And this doesn't look like street food because it's got some corn. I don't know. But I don't know, something, I don't know what is that.
Yeah,
probably something with Bombay that I've not yet discovered.
I'm going to start off by eating just that and ask you my
What is this?
I think this is a corn chaat.
Corn chaat, okay.
Looks pretty good. You can try one.
No, I prefer the corn on the cob.
On the cob. Well,
that I have at my restaurant, one of my restaurants.
Coming to your restaurant, especially Gaggan's in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Now, the story, especially on Bloomberg, has gone viral.
Yeah, it went viral because I just declared myself jobless.
Declaring yourself jobless in the wisest way possible.
Yeah.
Because you're shutting down in 2020, Asia's best restaurant for 3 years running, one of the top 10 restaurants in the world.
Yeah.
Many people say that a Michelin star is coming very soon. Then why are you shutting down in 2020?
It's suicidal actually because for every business interest, it should be kept alive and rolling, and it's like, but I don't want to end up like a sports star who keeps the TRP on. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be a person who's told to exit by age. I prefer living on the top. I mean, that shows. I'm not quitting cooking, by the way. My last day on earth should be the one that I cooked. I hope not in a hospital bed, and that is my dream. But I am just taking a break to start something new. It's called mountaineering. In mountaineering, you climb the mountain slowly to reach the peak.
Right.
Then you can't fly from the top of that mountain to the next mountain. You got to come down and climb a new journey up.
Right.
And that only the journey will become easier because you've already done this. So what I want to do is to quit Gaggan, leave my fame as Gaggan restaurant and carry it over to a new journey. And that is exactly what my meaning is. And I'm restraining my life as Gaggan and controlling this because I come from nothing. That is my secret. My secret that has blown away in proportions because when you come from nothing, I have no regret of loss.
That's true. Started from the bottom.
Yeah. 4 years back, I was very hungry for success. Now success has touched me. And when success touches you, your hunger goes away and your art comes in. Your philosophy comes in. Your every other good conscience comes in.
Right.
And that's why now every decision that I take with that conscious. I think of giving back to people. I think of giving back things to people.
Right.
I think of how to sustain life in a more easier way rather than taking this hunger games.
Right.
The hunger games of getting more successful, more awards. So better quit and then something new.
Okay, and when you say this is, well, a new leg in the journey, this takes you, I've heard, to Japan.
Yes. Not to Tokyo, not to another big city. I don't like big cities. I've lived in big cities and moved to a bigger city in Bangkok, which is also a big city and bustling and chaotic, and Tokyo is no less. And I think not to London, not to New York, rather in a small city called Fukuoka, which is in southern island of Japan,
Right.
in Kyushu, and live there and enjoy a peaceful life.
tell me a little bit more about your journey from India to Bangkok. You started off you're from Calcutta originally.
Yes.
And you went to catering college here. You worked at the Taj.
Taj, yeah. I started my career way before I passed out of my college. I was selected as Taj Management Training Program, the first batch. I was lucky because the art of hotel, restaurant business I understood from Taj. My peers in Taj were Arvind Saraswat, and he taught me how to do basic things in food.
Okay.
And I still will never forget how to cook camembert souffle, which was ex-Taj, ex-Zodiac, ex-Arvind Saraswat, Satish Arora. I mean, this is something that I grew up in and in a part of my DNA. But then I left Taj, and that time the wrong and the rights were too young for me.
Right.
This is the right. You just leave things in a moment. We all do those mistakes. Mistakes that turns out to be the best things in life, or the worst, which we can't judge right now. But then, if I would have not done that, I could not be here where I am. So, but in the end, I have I've always learned from these mistakes and been more practical in life. And then one day I ended up in Bangkok, and although that is a gray area that I don't want to talk about, we all have a gray area. Only my midlife crisis happened in mid-20s rather than mid-50s.
But all for the best.
All for the best, because it made me a metal that you said what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
Yeah, so it made me a very hardcore cast iron thing, and I think it's that sharpening of a blade like a ninja knife.
Right.
You hammer to make it sharp, and now I have that sharp knife. So that is what I have become as a person, as a chef, blunt and straightforward, and only know one direction.
Okay.
And that is why I give the worst interviews ever.
No, this one's turning out to be a nice one, and as long you please, if you eat, I will eat. So you can try something. You should try the corn one later if you.
Yeah, I'll try the
corn. If you might really soup it up to something very special. So I can then say that I was part of history.
No, this is actually a serious influence from Thailand.
Is it?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
In Thailand they have this. I used to think this was very indigenously somebody thought in India.
This is typically Bombay street food.
No, but how old is this in Bombay?
So I know there are places in Bombay where you can go in Cuff Parade, close to where there's a Taj president out there. You can go right there. There's a guy who only deals with corn.
But how long is he doing this?
For like 10 years?
Yeah, that's the thing. This must have been discovered from somebody in Thailand and brought here. Because in Thailand they do this, steam corn, chop the corn off, and put the fish sauce, some Thai style spices, and you eat it. So this, I think, where it came from, the origination, but then over that I would prefer this, because this or this, every Indian has lived all their life for.
Even and this is a classic one, right? So this is something I have to ask you.
Yeah, like my mom was a dahi balla specialist, because
you're Punjabi, so best dahi ballas.
Dahi ballas, yeah.
But then this is a debate in different parts of our country.
I would not eat this because I'm born and brought up in Calcutta.
So you're going to say puchka?
No, I don't want to eat this. Because
no Panipuri for you.
This is crap for me, because I am a total Bengali here, racist. I'm racist, completely racist to Panipuri.
Okay. You don't like Panipuri?
No, I like
not even Golgappas?
Not even Golgappas. I only like puchka.
Man,
I'm like not Kolkata Knight Rider, but I'm a puchka.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But no, Gaggan, so all of this, it seems so ordinary and absolutely commonplace over here in India, right?
Yeah.
So this is Indian street food. We're not on the street, we're sitting in a fancy hotel, but this is Indian street food. That's why I wanted to eat it, and it's great because we could have a chat. But the only thing with it is, Gaggan, what I want to understand was, how do you manage to take these dishes? What did you do at Gaggan's in Bangkok that really souped these dishes up to such an extent that you're now the continent's best restaurant? What is the thought process?
Two things. First time when we came number one, 2015, I couldn't believe. I thought it was a miracle. That year, I introduced something to Gaggan. It's just not about the street food. It's about how you take decisions that are wrong and make them right. I start a philosophy where we can't eat food with spoon and fork, hands. India food tastes better when you eat with hands.
Absolutely.
It's our DNA, it's
Bilkul.
our culture.
Bilkul.
Today, our restaurant, out of the 25 courses, 23 are completely eaten by hand, without a cutlery. We've gone away from pretentious Western approach to food. If a Japanese chef would serve you on a chopstick, and so would a Chinese, then why would I serve anything that's Indian, or I'm an Indian guy serving food to be cut like a Western? Second thing we gave away was, we started giving away decorating dishes, look Western, where Western cuisine is this piece of meat or vegetable or something with 7 different ingredients, and the sauce adds the flavor. Typical Western cuisine, correct? Our cuisine, that ingredient that has been cooked already has everything else.
Right.
It's got the sweet, the spicy, the salty, the sourness.
Absolutely.
Okay, it has got everything. We don't need those legumes. We don't need that saucing. We don't need all that. That's where we were going wrong. So I sacrificed those 18 things out of the plate, took out the 2 most important parts and served that. Minimalism. That's how I guarantee you that you can't eat both these plates. You'll get bored.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We Indian, our idea of hospitality is like your mom and my mom. It's called feeding to death. Somebody comes to the home, so feed him to death. Like, ये नहीं खाया तूने, don't, why can't you eat? अरे अभी तो लस्सी पी. Mom, I'm going to burp. Okay. अभी सोडा पानी ला. You can't stop. Every problem has a foodie solution. Zabardasti. It's called force feeding.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that is our hospitality. That is natural. It's not enough. Yeah. That's why it comes naturally to in hotels. Now what happened is, I've cut down all that big portions into small bites as memories. And taking you to that picture, this part of my life, that part of my life, that day I spent in this part. So you have a story. And the storytelling has become the strongest asset of Gaggan.
Very interesting.
It's not about a cuisine, it's not about a journey, it's not about an experience. It's the whole storytelling for 2.5 hours, where the person is seduced to the idea of eating.
You know, and this is something that you do, because I have family and friends who've been to Gaggan's before, and they say you leave them hungry for more. It's just like...
It's that seduction. Art of seduction is that you are in that idea of that thing, and you cannot think anything else, and you want it more, and you just get touched. You eat something, it goes. Now, just for example, this Panipuri, I knew that this is amazing for every Indian.
Right.
But for me, is amazing. For you, is amazing. But for the guy who came from Chile or Brazil, he will spit it out. Because it's just not his culture. And same is for us. When we go to Thailand, we can't take durian.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a culture issue.
Or any Chinatown around the world. Can't take the smell, forget the taste.
Yeah. So we have these issues, right? Cultural issues. Now, I put that into a chocolate. You put the chocolate in your mouth, I call it chocolate chili bonbons. In your mouth, the first thing comes is chocolate, because I know your tongue. I'm playing with your organs.
Right.
So when you bite it, he takes chocolate, the fat of chocolate comes to your part of the tongue. The first thing in your tongue you taste is salt and spicy.
Right.
So you start tasting this water. Oh, what the hell is this? It's spicy. Ah. And then again the chocolate takes over. Sugar takes over everything else. And take it out. So they get a roller coaster. You are thrown away. It's like those bungee machines. You throw bungee jumping. You jumped. You go to the extreme depth. You said you will die and you come back to life.
Interesting.
This is what I do with my phone. I push them off the cliff and then bungee them off.
So, Gaggan, but one more thing. So you spoke about storytelling, and journalists can learn a thing or two from you about storytelling, because even your menu is so terse. And I've seen a picture that people have shared with me. It's emojis. It's 25 emojis.
Yes.
It's not words. What's the deal with that?
See, the problem was I was being judged.
Okay.
Every solution came from a problem. Judged being fame has this bitter nut. A bitter nut that you do anything when you become famous. Today I want to scratch my nose. Oh, Gaggan Anand was scratching his nose before he cooked.
Yeah.
Same is for anything else that I do. And I was being judged. My food doesn't taste different. My skills don't go down. It's just that I'm being judged because I'm famous. So they were comparing me with that restaurant, this restaurant in America, New York. My point was not to be the best restaurant in India or in Asia. My point was to be the best in the world. That's my fight is. To be there, I had to be different, innovative, and yet make sense. So let's start with the menu. People expect something when they come to a restaurant. Most of the restaurants, the menus are given, and okay, I'm going to eat this fish. Oh, I love fish. Oh, I hate oysters, so I'm not going to try this shit. I'll keep the space for this one. You already prepared your mind what to eat. Here, I'm giving them goat brain. Okay, I'm telling them it's not a goat brain. It's a flower power. They take it. It's a flower power. What's a flower power? Was 1960s Woodstock. What is wrong with this guy? With that hippie movement.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. And what is this flower power? They get a flower thing. It's got some powders of red, yellow, green. It looks like a floral arrangement. You put in your mouth. It's a goat brain. 3 months, it's been circulated. Goat brain, goat brain, goat brain. Oh, I know that's a goat brain. Next month he's come. It's a new menu. The goat brain has come to something else.
I know, and your menu just changed.
Yeah. So this is exactly. I play with people's emotions, sentiments. Like a person said, and I said, I hate tomatoes. I hate tomatoes. The red tomatoes, I hate it. I made a green tomato soup for that person. Oh, I love this. This is amazing. It's all here. We don't taste ingredients. Tasting of ingredients is something bitter like Karela. You will spit it out, it's Karela. Spit it out, it's Karela. True. That is taste. Everything else is perception. Perception of eating.
But when you're playing with emotions, that's your Punjabi touch, yeah?
Exactly. Now, emotions are emojis. Emojis are emotion based. So I bring emotion of every dish. Every dish's emotion might be directly or not directly looking like the emoji. There's an emoji called explosion. Now, what explodes in a mouth? Flavors. My dish called yogurt explosion, which started in Gaggan in 2010. And today I ate it in a restaurant in Mumbai, and it was the best thing ever because it was also called yogurt explosion.
Yeah.
And the chef was kind of nervous to give it to me. And then I said, no, this is where you're going wrong.
I wonder where he got the inspiration from.
No, she told me. She told me that she got it from me. She named it after me. Yogurt explosion.
Wow.
That is the best thing ever.
And I'm waiting to see another dish from your menu, which is from your earlier menu, which is essentially in colloquial language, Bengan ka biscuit.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could make bengan aubergine that interesting.
This is exactly what our restaurant has become. It's become minimalist. Now, eggplant in every part of India. We think Gaggan ka bharta is the Gaggan dish of India, but there's Gaggan chokha in Bihar and Bengal. There is agar, and there's Bagheera Gaggan, and there's Gaggan in sambar. Bangan is a typical Indian dish in a different forms. Now, Gaggan, what we do is we roast them in tandoor. Okay. In a tandoor, we use tandoor as an oven, not as a naan or a chicken tikka factory.
Right.
Now, we roast them in tandoor, take out the skin. The black skin we use for something else. The eggplants, which are cooked, that we bring them to a blast freezer.
Okay.
We freeze them at minus 55. Okay. Do you know cooking, baking? Cookies, little bit. Have you had a cookie in a coffee shop?
Absolutely.
So a cookie is dough, flour, butter, correct?
Right.
You bake it, cut it with cookie cutters. You have any special shapes?
Yeah. Of course. You have those nice heart-shaped ones.
I have broken hearts, Valentine. So we all have our favorite things, like Halloween or blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely,
Yeah, the cookie cutters. You know what is a cookie?
Absolutely.
So this is cookie. My definition of cookie is different. Eggplants, minus 55. Completely cooked, frozen like a brick. Take the frozen eggplant, freeze dry. One freeze dry machine is the cost of a Toyota Camry. I have 4 of them. In my
freeze dry machines, not the Camrys.
Well,
worth
of
absolutely.
Yeah, that's my parking lot in the kitchen.
Right.
So 4 freeze drying machines. I put them in the machine. It takes about 72 hours. To freeze dry and lose 95% of its volumetric weight. In simple language, the mass stays, like a balloon, but there's nothing weight. All the weight has evaporated off. So it becomes this big and small. You pound it into a powder, put some spiced oil and some other starch to bind it, make it into a dough, cut it with cookie cutter and serve it. So what happens is, you get something like a small cookie, you put in your mouth, it gets to your mouth and it immediately evaporates. It's finished, it gets away, run away, like that thing, teasing. Okay, you feel you had a big bite of Gaggan ka bharta or a big Gaggan something. That is minimalism. That is what I am today. It must have been passed through 8 or 9 hands. It must have passed through 90 hours and it finished in 5 seconds. That is what Gaggan is today.
You know, and it's interesting that you say that, because this is an exquisite experience. From hearsay, I've heard too much about this, and I know it's impossible to get a table there.
Yeah, we have no more tables for this year anymore.
Yeah, so there's like some 500 bookings a day, something like that.
Yeah, now the tables are from 2018 onwards. Yeah.
So I hope before it shuts down at some point, I can sneak into the
But
kitchen.
we have got something called a hotline number. My number I'll give you when you get
Done deal. I won't share it with you guys, but I'm going to keep that number.
Hotline number.
But Gaggan, the other thing is that it's an exquisite experience. All right, this is next level.
This is what it is. Luxury has changed a lot.
But then tell me something. Considering, you know, now you said that it's about minimalism and how you want to give back as well, right? It's expensive. It's not for everyone, right? So how does someone get a taste of this? Perhaps, you know.
See, I'll give you an example.
Back home.
I'll give you an example. Back home, you can't do it because our restaurants here run as industries.
Right.
My restaurant runs as a art house.
You don't think something like Gaggan's could ever?
No, because there's
come
no
up in
financial
India?
gain. We don't make money in Gaggan. Our food cost is 95%. In any restaurant industry guy who's listening to this, guys, I mean, you work on 25, 30, 31%, or it became 32%. We don't have food cost. Our food cost is 95%. My PR is my food. So why not give the benefit to the customer? Thumb rule. And that is completely against the industry. That's why I could not open in India. That's why I can't open anywhere else. Because how can I sell a loss venture? The guy will complain. I have to open other restaurants to make more money so that I sustain luxury, personal life. So these are the things, and I don't want to make it more expensive.
Okay.
I want it to be accessible by the richest man in the world and a backpacker who's there for 30 days, living on $20, roaming around in a backpack, and his last meal in Bangkok, he saved $200 just to eat in Gaggan and take a flight back home.
Fair enough. That's a very set and sorted target
It's
audience.
easily accessible. It's a completely wrong idea that Gaggan is not easily accessible. Our accessibility is so easy. That's why we sold out so many tables.
So we won't see full-fledged Gaggan experience here in Mumbai or Delhi or Calcutta, but these pop-ups will keep coming.
No, this is I'll be very honest. It's more unique here. I'll tell you what. Indian food tastes better with Indian ingredients. That was my objection with the corn. Okay, no, because if I make dahi vada today with quinoa, it's a disaster.
Absolutely.
Because then you're killing something that is existing in our mouth. Nothing can beat that bloody dahi vada. Nothing can beat a chana bhatura. Correct. And I am cooking in India with Indian ingredients. So I am more excited, and my food, which doesn't taste as Indian in Bangkok, which is the only criticism I have for myself, will taste better because I'm in India.
Well, so for now you're in India and we've caught you in India, but I am hoping at some point, like Gaggan's personal request, I should get leave at some point so I can fly down to Bangkok.
Completely.
Or Japan later and then call on your hotline and get a table.
Yeah, we prefer Bangkok is more fun.
Done deal. Thanks so much. Thanks, Gaggan. Catch up with you soon. Take care.